This could be a major podcast because in the background is the Cleveland Orchestra at Carnegie Hall with Schubert. Oh, wow. Are you imagining that that will be good? Well, that's major in a way. But I'm actually reading in Rumi's Masnavi, Book 5, at line 2650, which I crave to read because it's major. Okay. Imaginings, fear, and craving, all are major. Yeah, so if I crave it, it's major. And if I fear something...
My mom said...
You fear afraid of something, it's major. And if I imagine it, it's also major. What are you saying?
I know.
What? Mama's saying?
Mama's saying...
What's Mom saying?
Mama's saying, to come here.
Come.
Come here and stupid.
Come? Okay. So I'm not imagining this or craving it, but it's happening. She says to come. So I'm not imagining Schubert, it's actually playing. So imaginings, fear, and craving all are major. Obstacles for the mystical wayfarer. So these are the obstacles to the path. Imaginings. Well, that's where I daydream about the stuff I want to do or stuff I want to get. And the fear is the stuff I worry about, and the craving is all the stuff I want. And craving all are major obstacles for the mystical wayfarer. So my craving for listening to beautiful classical music is an obstacle to the mystical wayfarer. Imaginings, fear, and craving, all are major obstacles for the mystical wayfarer, all of them. Imaginings harm so many men already, like Abraham. Yeah, he's been harmed a lot just by, right now he wants to trade in like his hoverboard or something. His board, and he even wants to trade his scooter in to get he's imagining he'll get something else. Imaginings harm so many men already, like Abraham, who was then mountain steady. This is my Lord. Great Abraham once said, when by imaginings he had been misled. Those who were experts in interpretation perceived in this way, to each constellation, the world of bickering in imagination, blinkering imagination. The world of blinkering imagination pulled that strong mountain up from its foundation, such that he said, this is my Lord. How then would geese or donkeys fare compared with men? Yeah, how are they going to compare with men? Mountain strong intellects drowned in the sea? Yeah, that's what happened to me. I have a mountain strong intellect after having done hiking and climbing the mountain, but now I'm drowned in the sea again. Mountain strong intellects drowned in the sea of such imaginings and mere fantasy. If I just do my regular meditation and do my work and do Simran and stick to the basics and to live a life of simplicity and minimalism. What? What?
You're talking to who?
I'm doing a podcast. Do you know what a podcast is? Do you even know what a podcast is? You have to have a mountain strong intellect to drown yourself in a podcast of such imaginings and mere fantasy. Yeah, so this in fact is an imaginings and mere fantasy. And so technically you're drowning yourself in it now, so. What is that? It sounds more like Berg than Schubert. They figured that Berg goes well with Schubert somehow. Maybe they do. Maybe somehow Berg ties up with Schubert. Oh, really? Yeah. It's not so bad. I think I might like it. I wish I was at Carnegie Hall listening to the Cleveland Orchestra. Yeah, why didn't you listen when you were in Cleveland? Well, yeah, I had a thought of going to Cleveland Orchestra. The tickets nowadays are like $150 and pretty high, and you take a date, it's like $300. What happened? Is that inflation? Yeah. It's only for the rich, I guess. The flood humiliated mountains. Where is safety outside Noah's Ark out there? Yeah, and the floods have been humiliating mountains, is what happened. And even there's wildfires and there's floods, and recently Florida was humiliated when a hurricane hit it. The flood humiliated mountains. Where is safety outside Noah's Ark out there? Yeah, the faithful split then into 72 due to illusion. Yeah, there's something about 72. I don't know if that's in Jewish religion or Islam. They actually have a footnote, line 2657. Huh. What the heck, 2,600 and... The faithful split into 72. There are a group of sayings of the Prophet Muhammad that foretell the division of Muslims into 72 factions. Okay, so you complain about the factions, you know. It's even predicted by Muhammad that they will split into 72. So why do the Wahhabis expect like everyone to be orthodox and be exactly the same when Muhammad says they'll split into 72 factions? The faithful split then into 72 due to illusion which blocks truth from you. Men with true certainty escape the sun. They don't think eyebrows are the crescent moon. Yeah, and it was only like last night, August 30th, they had the blue moon or the harvest moon or the super moon. And there were two moons in like August of April 2023. There was a full moon on April 1st and a full moon on August. Oh, there's a full moon on August 1st and a full moon on August 30th. Oh, really? Yeah. So, men with true certainty escape the sun. They don't think eyebrows are the crescent moon. Lacking Omar's light for support, one might allow an eyebrow's hair to block one's sight. A million scary ships were badly wrecked due to imagining's massive seas effect. Pharaoh philosopher was one of these, the least in the eclipsed his moon with ease. No one knows who's the cuckold from the men. If one did, he'd know it is not him then. Yeah, they had worried about cuckolds back then. No one knows who's the cuckold from the men. If one did, he'd know it is not him then. Your own imaginings now have made you giddy. Yeah, I tend to get giddy and I get weird and I get depressed if I imagine like bad things happening sometimes. And, I've had a number of incidences, they keep coming. I must have karma or something. I had an incident with where it was an insurance thing happened, and then there was the robbery, and then there's the taxes, and it was really quite one thing after another. What happened? Oh, well, if I'm not careful, my imaginings, my fear, and my cravings would all get out of control. Okay. Your own imaginings now have made you giddy. Why focus on another man's already? I'm helpless against my self-conceit. Why come to me with yours and take a seat? With all my heart, I seek somebody selfless. Yeah, if I could find somebody who's not selfish, with all my heart, I seek somebody selfless. I'll be the ball for that bat that is precious. One whose lost ego owns all egos thus. Without self-love, he's loved by all of us. A mirror with no image of its own is better. It makes others' faces known. Once there was an ascetic based in Ghazni, a learned man, Muhammad Sarazi. He'd break his fast with vine leaves every night. He sought one goal for years with all his might. The king of being showed things marvelous, but he just sought the king's own handsomeness. Weary of self, he reached a mountain top, then said, "Appear to me, or I'll just drop." God said, "It's not yet time for such an honor. You won't die if you fail. I will want you longer alive." He threw himself down out of love, but landed in deep water from above. When that one sick of life saw he'd not died, he grew shocked and lamented being denied, for his life seemed like death in his own view, and everything was topsy-turvy too. Yeah, things have been a little topsy-turvy, but I'm hoping I settle down, and we get settled down, and we get some main things done around here, and I guess we can move on from there. Everything was topsy-turvy too. So, through unseen routes, he begged death in this way. My life is in my death. Yeah, my life in a way is in my practicing how to die while living, by practicing death in meditation. Was it like a simulation study where you simulate leaving the body and going up to heaven, and like a voluntary near-death experience? Yeah. My life is in my death was what he'd say. Like life, this man embraced death, and he was assenting to it for his higher cause, like Ali. His sweet basil, sword, and knife, Narcissus, wild rose for foes of life. Leave for the town, the desert where you've been, said a strange voice beyond seen and unseen. Yeah, this is leave for town, leave for the town, the desert where you've been. You know my secrets, details, hair by hair. How should I serve in that town over there? Your self-abasement is the work that's better. You'll then be like Abbas, Dabsi, the beggar. Yeah, I could end up like the beggar. Take gold from rich men for a while and give it to the poor who struggle just to live. Well, I did give some things that it's not exactly intentional. I keep making trips to the old Marriott Hotel to give things to the Venezuelan people. And I don't know about, I used to take gold from Richmond and yeah. Well, I don't have much gold now. This is the service for a while to do, he said. To hear is to obey you too. So many questions, answers, and discussion continued then between them in this session. This earth and sky were filled with light. Just look and you will find it noted in this book. I have abridged their dialogue so then the mysteries won't be heard by useless men. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure that these mysteries are heard and not by useless men. So I'm hoping that the people who listen will become useful. So, yeah, useful. These mysteries will not be heard by useless men. Yeah, by the fact that you're listening to this, you must not be useless if you're interested in the mysteries of the beyond. So, we'll continue so you cannot be a useless person. Yeah. That fine, obedient one went to that place, Kazi, which was illuminated by his face. Some came to greet him happily on that day, but he went quickly in a secret way. All the nobility were decorating their palaces for him, anticipating. I have not come to show off in this podcast, said the sheikh, then said. Yeah, I haven't come to this to show off. You'd think it's maybe I'm just showing off all the mysteries and I'm just for my own sake to show off. I've not come to show off, said the sheikh. Yeah, and I'm not a sheikh. I'm not part of organized religion. I'm just individualized. Yeah. So you operate solo as a religion? Yeah. I've not come to show off, the sheikh then said. I've come to beg and get abased instead. Yeah, I've come to beg and get abased in this podcast. I don't intend to chat, please understand. Yeah, and I'm not trying to just chat you up, and I'm not using Chat GPT, so. I don't intend to use Chat GPT. But understand, I'm begging door to door, basket in hand. I'm slave to God's command and his decree. Yeah, in a way, I'm a slave to finding time to do this podcast. I don't believe it's possible without the God's command. Okay. So, deems I shall live a life of beggary and begging. I won't use terms deemed obscure.
¿Vamos ya o todavía no?
You want to go temprano? We can go now.
You were gonna go shopping? Yeah, so like I said, yeah, if you're a listo, we could go.
Okay.
I could get a cup of coffee, and yeah, I can't. I'm a slave to my wife's command and her decree. James, I should live. And if I keep spending, I'm gonna live a life of beggary pretty soon. So, oh my God. Or if I still haven't bought a house or no plan to buy a new car, then does that mean I'm living a life of beggary? Well, I don't know. I guess if you buy a house or a new car, you would live a life of beggary. Why is that? Well, you have to make payments, and unless you pay all cash. And I don't see how all these people buy new cars. I mean, where do they get the money? Do they have car loans? That's a bad deal, I think. James, I should live a life of beggary. In begging, I won't use terms deemed obscure. Yeah, I'm not trying to become obscure in this podcast when I'm talking about begging. I'll tread the basest beggar's way as a cure. Well, I've already done that. I don't want to again. What? No, I've already treaded it. So in a basement, I'll get fully drowned. I was drowned in a basement. So, well, why don't you be more careful with your money and don't spend it? Well, that's why I'm saying I didn't buy a new car, and I didn't buy a new house. Yeah, because I could see the way that the mind is becomes dissatisfied. Oh, what? Yeah, like it gets something and then it wants to go somewhere else. Okay. So in a basement, I'll get fully drowned and hear abuse from anyone around. Yeah, I could listen to anybody around abuse me. They already have abused me. I had to listen to it. I actually had to pay to listen to the abuse. I had to pay the court cost for my denigration. So they wrote this these big memorandums of decision where they abused me. And then they told me I had to pay for it. And hear abuse from anyone around. God's orders clear, I obey unfazed. He said to crave for cravers are abased. He said to crave for cravers are abased. This king told me to crave, so from today, to hell with being content is what I say. Yeah, to hell with being content is what I say. I'm not content, so to hell with it. Yeah, to hell with being content. I'm not going to accept this kind of crap. I'm tired of being abused by everyone around. To hell with being content is what I say. How can I poise? He wants humility. Yeah, in the satsang talk, I was just thinking about how, I'd learned so many books, and I'd done so much education, and read all the classics, and all the books of the master, and all the books of the other master. So it's hard to maintain humility when the master, then he says, everybody's the same. Okay. So despite my extensive education and book knowledge, I'm still the same. What? So a kid doesn't have any education at all or something.
You're in the same boat with that kid. Okay. All right, so it's hard to maintain humility. Though technically, I guess I'm in the same boat as everyone else. Oh, yeah, how can I pose in this podcast to know anything? He wants humility. So I have to humiliate myself in this podcast. I'll not act royal. He wants beggary. Oh, God. Yeah, that's a problem here. Well, you are technically lower than middle class, and I guess, yeah, you don't even come up to the definition of middle class. So, yeah, and you think you're better just because you gave things to the Venezuelans, and you're not that much better than they are. In fact, they're younger and probably healthier and stuff. I'll not act royal. He wants beggary. Humility and begging are now precious. What's so precious about it? God, humility may be precious, huh? Why begging is like 20 of a buses. Basket in hand, the sheikh went round and said, "Give for God's sake, if you are divinely led." Yeah. Give, well, yeah, you're supposed to give pretty much if you have excess stuff. I mean, it's not that holy. I mean, so you gave your excess clutter, which you had way too much of anyways, and so you gave it to the Venezuelans. I mean, that's better than throwing it out or giving it to Goodwill, probably. You give directly. So, but it's not that virtuous. Well, I'm trying, and I gave some books to the free library on the street, and I gave them books. But it's not that divine. Okay, well, you were cleaning your house, but it's good to be clean, so it's mildly virtuous. Okay. Basket in hand, the sheikh went round and said, "Give for God's sake if you're divinely led." Yeah, and I'm supposed to be divinely led in this podcast, so I'm trying at least to read a book of the Masters by Rumi, and I'm on line 2700 of the 5th book. Okay. Though higher than God's own throne inwardly, for God's sake give was his activity. And I'm giving of my time in this podcast. Okay. So, yeah, I was just saying it's a vicious, cruel, and vicious, seditious, salacious act for preachers to do podcasts when they haven't reached enlightenment. Yeah. What are you saying when you preach one of the religions and you haven't reached enlightenment is cruel to mankind? Yeah. But at the same time, if you reached enlightenment and you don't do a podcast, it's vicious cruelty to mankind to not give them a good podcast. Oh, really? So that's so weird. Though higher than God's own throne inwardly. Yeah, you could try to get yourself to be even higher than God's own throne. For God's sake, give was his activity. The prophets ply the same trade, nevertheless. Yeah, you should ply the same trade, nevertheless, as the prophets in this podcast. They beg through people near are penniless. They beg though people near are penniless. Yeah, and the funny thing is that the beggars are begging from people nearby who are also penniless. Oh, really? Yeah, well, the rich people are usually in gated communities, and they have security and everything like that, so the beggars have trouble getting close by to beg, and They beg, though people near are penniless. So probably the most gracious and giving of people are the other poor people. Okay. So technically, like other recent immigrants, like might give to the new immigrants. So like typically like the Colombians who come here like a couple of years, well, they tend to give to the Venezuelans. Okay. So they beg, though people near are penniless. But the people who are here a long time, in their gated communities and stuff, they don't. And they try to write laws and all this stuff, like in Florida, to keep them out if you transport illegal immigrants to Florida. It could be a felony in Florida. What? Yeah, is that done by a Latino white supremacist that they do these laws? Yeah, that's kind of weird. Like if a Latino white supremacist enacts a law where you can't, like illegal immigrants, they can't drive their car in Florida now. So now there's nobody to clean up the hurricane damage. What? The prophets ply the same trade, nevertheless they beg. Through people near are penniless, they tell all lend to God. Contrastingly, they then say, help us, God, repeatedly. So, lend to God. Try to figure out how you do lending to God. Is that like issue a loan to God? Or is God inside those people? Or no, maybe God is in the people who need the loan or something. That's what he means. I'm not sure what he means. Oh, more, that's chocolate? Oh, wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ¿por qué?
Thank you, porque. Ooh, it's hot too. Good. I like it hot. Some like it hot. Well, some people like their chocolate hot, and I'm one of them, so. You every day, you do the same thing where you burn your tongue and when you're doing a podcast by drinking boiling hot chocolate. Yeah, well, if it's a crime for me not to do the podcast, what? Yeah, if you are an initiate, a long-time initiate, and reached enlightenment, and you fail to do a podcast, it's a cruel and vicious act against mankind. So, because they don't have any podcasts that reflect the truth. Oh, they don't? No. So, for him to heaven there were doors galore, but still the sheikh went begging door to door. Since he begged earnestly, and for God's sake, not for his belly, it was no mistake. And if it had been for his gullet's pleasure, that gullet has not so much light none can measure. Yeah, and it's not just for my gullet's pleasure, this chocolate. Though I suppose it seems like it's for my pleasure, so. For him, bread, milk, and honey would be treats better than the fuckers fast and retreats. How is that? I like fuckers fast and retreats. I was thinking of what I need is to maintain celibacy and along with fasting and a cold plunge. What? And cold bath, cold water. Like there's so much hype about how good cold water is. Cold water therapy. So fast and retreats. You went to fast and retreats. For him, milk, butter, and bread and honey would be treats better than the Bakker's fast and retreats. Yeah, I can't figure that out. So. He feeds on light, so don't you say it's bread. He plants fine flowers and won't waste them instead. Well, we did plant fine flowers, and we may have wasted them because now they're growing in Ohio and we're not there. Okay. Just like the flame that feeds off oil and candle, from feeding his light would increase, though ample. God said for eating bread, not too much greedy. Yeah. And my wife, she made like these bread things. So I don't know if she called it granis, but it had it's like these puffy little bread things she made for the church, and then she said, "You have one." So I've been dieting, so I ate one. No. Then I wanted another one, and so then I said, "Give me another one." So I ate another one, and then she said, "No mas, no more than, so no more, don't be so greedy. Don't eat more than 2. So I was admonished. Well, I knew I couldn't eat more than 2, and yeah, so not too much greedy, God said for eating bread. Not too much greedy. Yeah, who did he tell that to? I mean, goodness. He didn't say for light be sated easily. And he didn't say like just get a little bit of light in the third eye at meditation and then be satisfied. He said don't be sated easily. He says to keep getting what? Keep getting more and more and more and more light. What? What is it more? What you got? You have granis? Did you have bread? More? Can I have any? You have any pan? Oh, that's no pan left. Oh, that's integral. These are like crackers. But I can't have more than 1 or 2? Okay, thank you. No mas. No mas. Don't be greedy. I can't get greedy with these things. So. Greed. I'm trying to control greed. Greed for food. Yeah. For me to live to 118 is not going to be easy. It takes very strict discipline. Very strict. Why do you want to live to 118? It seems like you're greedy for the length of your life or something. My God. He didn't say for light be sated easily. Well, he didn't say to experience a little bit of light and meditation and then just eat too much, get fat, and die. He said to continue in the human body doing meditation into old age. So I shouldn't be sated easily, and with my doing meditation while in the body instead of out of the body. So for me to be sated easily and then just say I'll just die anyways, or I should try to prolong my lifespan by not eating too much and playing a lot of tennis. Oh, okay.
This one is
how's that work?
this one tells the weight. Lucky.
Well, tennis players do live, I guess, 10 years longer.
This one is
but that doesn't really get you to 118 now, does it? No. Be sated easily, other throats suffer.
I forgot
and are tried no less. But this man's throat was not prone to excess. It isn't greed, but a command instead. By greed, such lofty souls are never led. If the illicit tells the copper, give me yourself, craving is not the cause most clearly. For God has offered the sheikh's treasures here, on earth as far as the seventh sphere. Yeah, and God has offered I
could bring you another.
He has the treasures, and they go far beyond. The sheikh offered the treasures that go beyond the astral plane, the causal plane, the astral supercausal plane, and the fourth plane, and the fifth plane, and then there's the sixth plane and the seventh plane. Really? Oh yeah, so Sans Wal, Kanwal, you go up to the, after Sach Khan, you go to higher planes yet, so. The sheikh's treasures here on earth are as far as to the seventh sphere, but he has said, Creator, I'm a lover. I would be worthless if I sought another. If I should look at paradise as well, or if I serve you due to bear of hell. Yeah, that's a question, am I just serving? Am I just pursuing the path and going to the satsang because I've become afraid? Yeah, as you get older, you're just more afraid of all the bad things that can happen in death. So, yeah, and you had that insurance claim, and then there was the robber, and the ATM issue, and you had the taxes, and you have one problem after another. So what's the next one? Well, have fear of hell, so I've been gone. I went to satsang last night, and so I have no fear at all. What? Yeah, the master said if you have communion with God, how could you, or you believe God is with you or in you or he's controlling your life, then what's the fear? Then I would be a pleasure seeker oddly, for these are just to benefit the body. Yeah, maybe I'm just a pleasure seeker. Maybe I went to satsang just to benefit my body, so like I said, so I could live to 118 and play tennis a lot longer, and yeah, so you're a pleasure seeker on the path? Yeah. Then I would be a pleasure seeker oddly, for these are just to benefit the body. Yeah, the whole thing is not from my soul, but having an enlightened soul happens to benefit the body, so I try to seek the highest form of enlightenment so that I can perform better as an athlete and benefit the body, and play tennis better and live longer, and I won't have to suffer. And you're just avoiding suffering, basically. You're trying to hide from your karma, yeah. Well, I try to get it burned up before it happens in meditation. Yeah, so you're just avoidant, yeah. Yeah, you could say that I'm avoidant of my bad karma by going to satsang to try to dump it off onto the living master. Yeah, you have said how you try to dump your karma on the living master and instead of on your own actual master. Yeah, that's cruel. Yeah, well, this is a cruelty podcast. So it's cruel for me not to do the podcast. Then I would be a pleasure seeker oddly, for these are just to benefit the body. Bodies to lovers whom God nourishes aren't worth a bean. Yeah. Well, my body is sort of made up of beans, but he's saying that my body now isn't worth a bean. Bodies to lovers whom God nourishes are worth a bean. In fact, they are even less. So now if my body isn't worth a bean and I should go to satsang to just benefit my soul? Yeah, you gotta get your act together and figure out what's going on here. Yeah. The body of the mystic sheikh became transformed. Don't call it body, not the same. Yeah, and maybe you shouldn't call it the body. Maybe if I stopped calling it the body, it would not be the same, okay? If I stopped thinking about the body, I wouldn't have one, okay? The body of the mystic sheikh became transformed. Don't call it body, not the same. A lover of God's love, seek a reward. A trusted Gabriel, be a thief. The hoard of the wealth of this world was nothing more than straw to Layla's lover, blind and sore. Gold and mud had the same worth in his view. What's gold when one feels life is worthless too? Yeah, that's the funny thing. If I buy gold and hoard up gold, but I feel that life is worthless, and what's the value of the gold that I'm holding? Okay. What's gold when one feels life is worthless too? Yeah, well, if I don't play tennis and exercise and take a cold plunge and take a bath and fast and go to satsang, then I'll feel that life is worthless too. And my gold will be, what good is the gold that I'm holding when my wife feels worthless too? Wolves, lions, and wild beasts all quickly heard of him and neared as if from the same herd. For he was purged of animality. Love filled his flesh, now poisonous totally. To wild beast, wisdom's sugar's poisonous. For good is contrary to wickedness. Wild beast won't eat the lover's flesh at all. Love's known to good and evil ones to all. And if they eat by backbiting instead, his flesh turns poisonous, leaving them soon dead. All things besides love are devoured by love. All things besides love are devoured by love. The worlds are one grain in the peak of love. Does a grain ever eat instead the bird? Yeah, does grain ever eat the bird? Do hay troughs eat the horse? That is absurd. Yeah, why do you ask all these absurd questions in this podcast? Serve God so you might be a lover too. Servings, earnings. Servings, earning. Yeah, so if I serve God, then servings, earning. So if I serve God, I'll be earning? Yeah. Serving, well, we talked about selfless service. Servings, earning. If you have a poem of annihilation and you annihilate yourself and you don't have a self, and then you do selfless service while you don't have a self, then servings, earning. It's action that you do. A slave yearns for his freedom desperately. However, never wishes to be free. A slave seeks honors and a big reward. A lover's honors, vision of his Lord. Love is beyond all speech and hearing too. Love is an ocean with depths far from view. Though one can't count the drops inside the sea, that ocean makes seas small comparatively. This discourse can go on and last forever. Return to hear of that shake of the era. Okay, so, and this discourse and this podcast can go on forever.
This racket heavy and heavy too. After mine, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's very light. Maybe you should have more heavy.
No, it's heavy. I
They're
don't
not
know.
that heavy.
No, it's good, strong, everything.
Strong.
Yeah, but it's heavy.
I can
If you,
find-
if you,
I
no,
can
you-
try this one. I can find a lighter one. I don't think it's real heavy.
I don't know.
This is not real heavy.
But
This is also bigger. Yeah, well, this is damaged. Try that one.
No. Okay, okay.
Try that one. You'll find it.
This one.
This is no good.
Okay, change. Okay.
Change. Ah,
Yeah, look.
the
Vitamin
wise
D.
will give a hint.
Vitamin D.
I'm returning to hear that shake of the era.
Milk.
So yeah,
Milk?
so
Yeah, what
Is that
here's
buttermilk?
the shake
that
of this
Is
era,
that buttermilk?
and I'm going to return to reading
Is it
to
really milk?
Rumi, so
Milk?
masnavi, the fifth book, and
Milk.
Organic,
Oh my
organic.
God.
for this line 227, 36.
I don't like milk much.
Um,
I don't like milk much.
so if it was not for you,
It's not for
I
me.
would not have created this podcast. Okay.
I don't
Oh,
like
a sheikh became a wandering beggar there.
I eat yogurt sometimes.
Love didn't care about
I
his
don't like-
rank.
I eat
Beware.
milk.
Evening time, very good.
Love
I don't
boils
often
the
have
ocean
milk.
like a cauldron, and love crumbles massive mountains just like sand.
Oh, yeah.
Love splits apart the heavens frequently. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess it's sort of like it cracks open a wormhole or something. Love splits apart the heavens frequently. Love makes the ground shake also nonchalantly. See, love makes the ground shake also nonchalantly. Pure love united with Muhammad too, God said, for love of him. If not for you, if not for you, I wouldn't even be doing this podcast. Or why wouldn't you do it just for yourself? Or you don't do something for its own sake so you can listen to it. If not for you, if not with you, I'd still be doing this podcast for myself. God said, for love of him, if not for you. And since in love, he was the final goal, he was unique in his prophetic role. If it were not for the sake of pure love, would I have made the heavens up above? Yeah, it's all for the sake of pure love. I raised that lofty sphere so you would know the loftiness of love from down below. Yeah, we're learning about the loftiness of love in this poetry. And further benefits come from that sphere. It's like the egg that hatches chicks down here. I brought the ground low down so you could see that love is based on true humility. And we gave grass and freshness to bare ground so you see how ascetics change around. Yeah, and I do this podcast so you can see what it's like. You can get a taste for true love based on my true humility. That love is based on true humility, and we gave grass and freshness to bare ground so you can see how ascetics change around. And you could see, and I have ascetic qualities, so you could watch them change and stuff. These solid mountains show the quality of lovers' states in firmest constancy. Yeah, and I try to achieve a firm constancy in these podcasts and consistent dedication to meditation. Although the former is just an image, it is closer to your mind's reach, isn't it? Anguish is something people will compare with barbs. It's just so you will be aware. Hearts, too, aren't really stony, but my son, we say that as an apt comparison. Yeah, some of this stuff, we just say it as comparisons, so. If something is beyond conception's limit, blame your conception's power or don't dismiss it. Yeah, and if you can't understand mysticism or this poetry or this podcast, then it's beyond your conception's limit, and don't dismiss it, okay? Yeah, and sometimes I go into little short meditations, like up to 4 times a day. Like if one of them doesn't work, I just try again. Okay. It may seem imprudence. Why don't you just do longer, more accurate meditations? You don't have to retry. Yeah, okay. The sheikh went begging 4 times in one day, up to the prince's palace on his way. Yeah, I seem I go out maybe sometimes too often to the stores and looking around for something to eat, and it's like begging, I guess. Yeah. Like I was saying, just driving a car is like slavery. Like if you wait at the light or you obey traffic lights, and if you obey speed limits, and you're watching out for red light cameras and speed cameras, you are begging not to get a ticket. So it's like begging all the time. And yeah, it's slavery to have both a car loan and to drive the car and to
be stuck in the car and to be stuck in traffic. Yeah, you've gotten tired of that stuff, I know. Yeah, well. Basket in hand, something for God, he said. The soul's creator seeks a piece of bread. Yeah, and I ended up getting like a piece of bread at that Italian restaurant on Lexington Avenue, even though we actually ate out and actually ate bread. Really? This statement is absurd and very silly. It makes universal reason even giddy. The prince saw him. Imprudent one, speak less. Don't you smear my name with your stinginess. What thick-skinned front to come in such a way to my home and beg 4 times in one day? Yeah, I guess God's irritated with me for my little reattempts at meditation with my short ones and my he thinks I should do a full set of a 1 hour, 2 hour meditation instead of just coming around in the morning and the evening with a short meditation and begging for. Well, I don't really beg. I just thank God for. I don't beg for things. I thank him for already doing the stuff I want. What? Well, that's still begging. It's using psychology. Where you thank God for. Well, you do thank him for the things he did do for you, and well, he made a lot of my problems. I might take the view that they were greatly watered down and decreased problems. They're minor problems, which were greatly reduced and overcome. Oh yeah. So then you're not begging for anything. Well, the things that I want, I'll just thank God for already giving it to me. What? What? Does that work? To my home, beg 4 times in a day. Who's bound to you? Shake over here. I've never seen such a brazen, expectant beggar. Yeah, in a way, I'm kind of a brazen, expectant beggar, and the way I do it is kind of brazen, and maybe it does piss off God, and to actually have the chutzpah to pre-thank him for something you want and try to actually use psychology on God that is like brazen, yeah. Seeing such a brazen, expectant beggar, you have made beggars' reputations rot in this podcast, yeah. Abbas, like ugliness, is what you brought. Abbasi, Dabsi has your sidekicks roll. Spare infidels from such an ill-stared soul. I'm bound by God's command, the sheikh then said, be silent and don't boil in rage instead. Yeah, and the one lady was still like upset over when one of my friends had yelled at her, and I said he had a problem with getting angry at times, and I said that he's been angry at us as well, but not to get too upset over him that he gets angry at stuff. We don't even know the reason, and so be silent and don't boil in rage instead. So I said not to worry about it, and I told her how some people, they have a weakness, but they have other good qualities, and her husband was saying, trying to calm her down. She was still upset from the prior day, which was not even the prior day. It's like 2 days back, because he had yelled at her. So be silent and don't boil in rage instead. Had I seen in me craving for some bread, I'd have ripped up that belly then instead. For 7 years I've lived off fine leaves stew, to love's fire, which can cook the body too. Yeah, I can actually cook my body in a way through meditation. From eating fresh and dry leaves, as you've seen, this body of mine has been turning green. Yeah, and in a way, I say like dumb stuff, like on the food pyramid, like 90% is, 95% of my food pyramid is greens. What? Yeah, like just salad greens. Oh, really? That's ridiculous. You would turn green. From eating fresh and dry leaves, as you've seen, this body of mine has been turning green. Yeah, so I am, in a way, it makes sense that my body's green. While you are behind the human veil that covers, don't look down critically upon God's lovers. Yeah, so don't look down critically upon me. So don't like it to criticism of my podcast, okay? Clever ones who can split hairs as an art, and even learnt astronomy by heart with sorcery, magic, and philosophy, though they lacked knowledge of reality. Yeah, a lot of people, they'll try to trick you, and yeah, so I was tricked and fooled at the ATM in a way, so yeah. Yet have been striving to their highest levels, which helped them to surpass their nearest rivals. Faced love's withdrawal and exclusivity, with this sun vanishing from them, you see, how come the sun just vanished from sight of those who see the stars both day and night? Yeah, and the master was saying that you're supposed to be like, you're supposed to be up all night in the remembrance of God, and you're not supposed to be eating, and what are the signs of a true lover? So I'm trying to figure that out. So quit this, listen to me, and beware. Yeah, so listen to Rumi in this podcast and beware. So quit this, listen to me, and beware. View lovers with love's eye now if you care. Souls look ahead and there's no time to waste. Yeah, like if you're not, like, he was saying, like, if you're not having tears of remembrance of the master and stuff that go inward, like Anso tears, Ansoo, and not Enso tears, Eensoo, for love for the world, then your life is wasted. Oh, God, yeah. Souls look ahead and there's no time to waste. Don't waste it. Well, I'm trying to not waste it. I mean, I did morning meditation, and I guess I could do more meditation. Yeah, well, how are you going to do more meditation? Yeah. Well, that's the question, I guess. I could will it in this podcast. Okay. So does that take planning and coordination, or is that a life hack? Or yeah, it's all the hacks. In a way, it's the king of life hacks. To do perfected meditation is the king of life hacks. Okay. They can't apologize now due to waste. Understand. Don't rely on speech alone. And you can't just rely on this book or like words and all this stuff. Don't rely on speech alone. Don't wound the lover's breast. Leave them alone. Their ecstasies are making you suspicious. Don't quit your vigilance then. Keep being cautious, compulsory, allowed, impossible. Select the middle course then, if you will. Yeah, I'm going to take maybe the middle way and try to achieve
balance, and I'm gonna spend right now I had to juggle my schedule, and I had to meditate in the morning, and then rain was expected. I took my wife to church. I had to move the car, and I parked the car by the tennis court, and I went, and I played anyways. What? You mean it didn't rain? Yeah. Well, the court was wet, and I found a guy, and we played, and I played for 70 minutes on my watch. What? And you actually burned 700 calories? Yeah, I burned 700 calories just as like a tennis warm-up with a stranger. Oh, really? So you found some strange young guy there. These are all young guys. The one guy is still going to Queens College, and they're like, you play with like students. Yeah. So I've selected the middle course though, and now I can, I did the master's broadcast, and I listened to the broadcast after 11, and then I'm at home doing this podcast, and later on at 2 o'clock I might go out and do tennis again with the Gusto. And they were joking, like my friends, the couple, they were joking that, and then you can go play in the evening, because they know my ways, but I don't actually play much more than 3 hours a day anymore. So I used to play like up to 6 or something, but those were crazy times during the pandemic and all that stuff. So I select the middle course then, if you will. So I'm more in a balance now, because I have 2 hours of meditation and 3 hours of tennis and 1 or 2 hours of piano playing and reading books. What? You have all these things you're doing? Is it balanced, and are you on the middle way, or going down the middle, or? Yeah, something like that. Huh. Well, I would like to not do anything unless it was by the divine promptings in this podcast. The Sheikh said this, and then wept loudly there, tears rolling down his cheeks, which showed he has care. His being sincere thus touched the prince's mind. Each moment love cooks marvels, you will find. Lover's sincerity moves an inert thing. So moving knowing hearts is not amazing. Moses' being sincere moved rod and mountain. Yeah, I just need to try to get a deeper sincerity in a way, so I don't know how to do that. I mean, I guess meditation can accumulate that, I guess. So what's more, attached to the majestic mountain? I can touch upon the majestic mountain of bliss inside me. Mohammed's once moved the moon's beauty, and it stopped the bright sun's movement that was planned. Muhammad and all the stuff he did. Yeah. Well, I don't want to try to describe what all Muhammad did, and I'm not really an expert in what Muhammad did, and I'm not prepared to have a discussion with all the Wahhabis and all those different branches of Sufism and the Shias and the Sunnis and all this stuff. You guys can go in a room by yourself and you can argue over what Muhammad did, okay? I don't care. Why? What, you don't care? No. Yeah, I don't, and I think you should not be, those Mojave types should not be like destroying like Sufi, the Sufi shrines and stuff, Yeah, Prince and Renunciant thus faced each other, and as they both wept, they let out a holler. After they had wept a little, the prince spoke out, "Arise, O worthy man, you can pick out whatever you want from my treasury."
Yeah, I was reading the treasury of Trojan's treasury is his treasury is like the Zen teachings of the Zen master Dojin in Japan. Whatever you want from my treasury, though you deserve much more than that from me. My home is yours. Choose what you like for you. The two worlds aren't enough. Yeah, the two worlds, the things in this world maybe not be enough anyway, so that is my view. Yeah, so whatever I choose around in the world, I mean, it's pretty much transitory anyways, and and part of the time in my middle course, following the middle way, I choose things that benefit my soul into eternity. Oh, really? Yeah. Whatever you want from my treasury, though you deserve much more than that from me. My home is yours. Choose what you like. For you, the two worlds aren't enough. That is my view, he said. I've not been granted the permission to pick out something by my own volition. Have I got permission to pick out something by my own volition? Yeah, that's the funny thing is, I'm trying to pick. I cannot overstep or interfere by my own will like this if I'm sincere. Yeah, I can't just plug my own will and all that stuff into this podcast if it's going to be sincere. Okay. He thus gave his excuse and stepped away because the gift was not sincere that day. It was sincerely free from enmity and rage, but not that shakes sincerity. God has commanded me thus. Then he said, go like a beggar asking for some bread. Yeah, I'm begging for attention, and I'm begging right now for more spiritual grace, and so you are begging, yeah. If I could just get a small half glance from the Master, that would be better than having none. A half of a glance, yeah. The wise will find the hints in this podcast sufficient. So they are sufficient. If you're wise, you'll find something that's sufficiently wise. The prompting came to the Sheikh from the unseen in these past 2 years. You have taken and given on our command, but from now on, you are only to give and not to take. Yeah. So what it is this guy, he was offering me a free, gloves, and he said how they were, from the church and all this stuff. And it's interesting that I don't even take gifts, free things. I've declined. Plus, you don't want the clutter, and I don't know. So I'm only giving and not taking. Oh, okay. Keep your hand under the mat, which we have made like the bag of araha. For what is due to you, you will find whatever you want there. Yeah, whatever is due to me, I'll find anyways. This is so that the people of this world should learn that there is something beyond this world, where if you take dust in your hand, it turns to gold. Yeah, if you were to go into the worlds up and beyond, the Master keeps talking about going to the inner world, and Like the dust will just turn to gold there anyways. The dead who enter there become alive. The most ill-starred become the most favored by the stars. Unbelief becomes faith, and poison becomes antidote. But it is not in this world, nor outside of it, neither under nor over, neither joined nor separate, without us knowing its description. Every moment, thousands of impressions and symbols become manifest. The work of the hand in the form of a hand, the glance of the eye in the form of an eye, eloquence in the tongue in the form of a tongue. Neither inside nor outside, neither joined nor separate. The wise will find a hint sufficient. So,
Oh, he's busy?
a hint. I'm trying to get hints, and well, the master, he's given a number of hints, and he keeps telling us the same stuff. He kept saying how over and over again, the masters give hints. The sheikh for 2 years did this, and then later an order reached him from God, the Creator. You'll give, but never beg beyond this hour. So I don't usually go out after this hour, and it's probably going to rain anyways, and I'm not, on a Sunday night, I usually just go in early and don't go out, and I didn't go out. I came home at 5 and parked the car, and I don't go out begging and late on Sunday nights. You'll give and never beg beyond this hour from the unseen. We have given you this power to do this podcast. Whoever asks for something just like that, hand it to him from under this great mat.
The other part is very expensive.
Yeah, this great mat is sort of like Sant Mat. Sant Mat.
Free time, I went
Sant Mat. Hand it to him from under this great Sant Mat. Give it from Mercery's treasure with no limit. Yeah, so I give out the stuff in this podcast without any limitations. So dust will now turn to gold in this podcast. Dust will now turn to gold in your hand. Give it. Whatever's asked for, give. And don't feel stress. Yeah, you're not supposed to feel stressed. Don't get stressed from this podcast, It's not stressful.
You can take that, it's all right.
You're supposed to relax.
No,
Sunday night is not stressful. And she's saying, Davey, come eat your lentils. So I'm just going to go eat and not be stressed.
There is a good quote.
You want to go over there?
No, up to you. Have you
There's no limit to God's huge largesse in this podcast. In our bestowal, there is no reduction. So there's no limit to God's huge largesse. In our bestowal, there's no reduction and no regret about this generous action. Yeah, so there's no really regrets when you read this stuff. You put your hand beneath the mat to hide the truth thus from the evil eye outside. From under that mat, bring out what they lack. Give it to beggars with a broken back. Give that wage which demands no work to earn it. So he's saying, give that wage which demands no work to earn it. So you should just give things to people and to not ask for anything in return. Oh, okay. Give that wage which demands no work to earn it. So I pay people to not work.
Right now you're not doing.
No, I don't have any.
Really? Well,
But I have a
that's what they do to me, I guess. Give the fine pearl to anyone who earns it. Well, if they've earned it,
some people don't have.
who's an example of somebody earned it?
Other people,
A little girl actually expressed a genuine
I never play.
interest
This is the
in
first time I.
learning piano after she heard Bach, so
You want to play now?
give the fine pearl to anyone who earns it.
Almost done, it means it's okay.
God's hands above their hands, and you should be. Like God's hand, give provisions liberally. What's he trying to do? Have me give away all my money or something?
Mike's not coming.
My God, what am I going to do? Release from their binds those that owe a large debt.
So what's
Hmm.
not playing?
Who owes me a lot of money? Like rain transformed to green, this world's vast
Where you get a
carpet.
job and all that.
For one more year he worked as he was told, giving the Lord of Judgment's purses gold. Dirt turned to gold in his hand, generous giver. Hatem Tai before him was a beggar.
I understand. They don't.
Huh.
Because
They prefer Spanish anyways, because you don't speak.
Yeah, and here the sheikh, he knows the thoughts of the beggars without them having to say them.
the thing is,
Well, technically you're supposed to have
you don't need a language.
some level
Well,
of psychic powers, and just
Well,
reading that book on
I asked
the roots of yoga, there's really a lot
I
of
asked the daughter-in-law.
a whole section on
He has a contractor.
all the powers, and there's a lot more than just reading thoughts. How the sheikh knew the thoughts of beggars without them having to say them, and the amount of loans of debtors likewise, which is a sign of depart to my creation with my attributes.
So, but why?
If a poor man would not talk, he could read his mind and give him something for his need.
For the US business?
You're saying you should read the minds of beggars and give them something they need. Well, that's one way to do selfless service, I guess. It's more effective, actually.
But these.
If a poor man would not talk, he as in the sheikh, or an enlightened sheikh, or the yogi with transcendental powers, he could read his mind and give him something for his need. Well, there's a thing where you give somebody, you get somebody, or you bring something somebody needs before they ask for it. So like if you're sort of know in advance, it's more convenient. And I like my own convenience because I'm extremely selfish with respect to my conveniences. So it's more convenient for me to know what a beggar needs before he asks. So I can conveniently get it before he knows. So my convenience. He could read his mind and give him something for his need. He'd give the hunchback what he had in mind. No more, no less, exactly the right kind. They'd ask him then, how did you know that he was hoping to receive that secretly? My heart's house now is empty, he'd advise. Empty of beggar, just like paradise. Empty of beggars, just like paradise.
your
Nothing
phone?
but
Is it
love of
working?
God's left in my heart.
Your phone works?
Yeah, number.
Well,
number's
that'd be
working?
nice if nothing was
So I can
left
text
but love of God in my heart.
Your number.
We
What's your
empty out all
phone?
that crappy
It's the same
materialistic desires
What's the
and all
number?
those
What?
worries.
What's my number?
It'd be nice.
You don't have a phone number?
Well, if you do your evening
You have a new phone?
meditation,
Yeah, what to do? That
what am I going to meditate? Nothing but love of God left in my heart. The thoughts of union with Him, not to
That's my number.
part. I've swept the...
You can text me that. Oh, that's you.
Yes, sir.
Now you messed up the tape. Huh. Oh. That's you? Oh. Come on.
of good and evil. That is filled with love of the one God, people. Anything other than God that I should see reflects from beggars. This is not from me. If dates appear in water that you see, they are just reflecting from a nearby tree.
You coming on Wednesday?
If you see forms in water, they are not there. Those are reflections from outside. Beware. To clear the water from the chips on it, cleansing the body's prerequisite. Cleansing the body's a prerequisite. Huh.
Good job.
Well, you do have a prerequisite to cleanse the body and the mind and all this stuff, and to be purified so you can see God. So no fast days and no turbidity. Yeah, if I could get rid of the trash.
I see God.
Well, I took out the trash.
When I practice serve, I don't know. Maybe I could pay you to help me tennis practice. You could pick up balls.
Okay,
Wednesday. Yeah,
Perfect.
perfect.
Racket.
I bring you on Wednesday another racket, white racket.
Yeah.
I'm bringing
No,
rackets.
because maybe you strong guy. You need heavy.
Well, those are not considered very heavy.
Look, weight, different weight,
No, heavy is like 325 grams. That's not. Those are 300.
So like this.
And you like probably 275 or something.
So this bed, like almost how much it costs? Like $200-300.
Yeah. The one there you had is rare German. It's not even find it. It was very rare. It's very good. The Volky. It's a Volky, but I have other rackets.
Yeah, okay.
I'll bring all the tomorrow. I bring all the rackets.
Thank you so much. You have God, you
God,
have
thank
everything.
you. Thank you.
Valuable practice. Yeah. You ready? I'm ready to go to beach.
The Mormon guy, Joseph Smith. God was a man.
Russian
In
girls.
Mormonism,
Scale.
Beautiful girls.
no, before
American, yeah, look.
God was a man.
Yeah, like man. Yeah, they're working.
God was man. In Mormonism, with Joseph Smith, he said, before God became God, God was a man.
Do you know this? Macron wife. Do you know Macron?
Yeah.
President.
She's older.
French? No, you
Older.
have wife,
Yeah.
20 years older, but before, man, he be a boy.
Huh?
You don't know? No, you
I
don't
didn't know.
Yeah.
Her
No,
boy?
he
That's
teach.
weird.
No, he teach you for your school. Do you know Macron?
Is
Oh my God.
clear at last.
No.
Oh, God.
Faces' reflections are then clearly cast.
Wow.
Look news.
Unless your inner world's been
Boy,
purified, your house is full of what evil beast deep
Oh,
inside.
yo.
Oh
Well,
my
his
God.
world, he may have been
Alrighty.
purified.
Thanks for that information.
Rumi got purified when he wrote this poetry, so
I'll see
he
you
doesn't
later.
have the stupidity that I have. Well, I'm still cleaning up around here. Stubbornly stuck in asininity.
Stuck in acid. Isn't it?
When will you learn of Christ-like souls? Tell me.
Huh?
If images appear, how will you know from where they have arrived? Your body fades on self-denial's way until all thoughts inside are swept away. Well, he's saying sweep away your thoughts and
That's all right.
spend your whole lifetime just cleaning up your thoughts in meditation. Yeah. The donkey tried debating very long with that fox, but its hunger was too strong.
Oh.
Well, so greed prevailed. Its patience had to break. Many gullets get cut for love of cake.
Come on.
That truth
What are you gonna do?
supported messenger has said poverty is almost unbelief. We've read that
I have to do
donkey was
training
the
to get in
prisoner of
shape,
hunger.
and,
If it's a plot and I die,
No, I'm
I'll
training
no
for the
longer
tournament.
suffer from
I want to lose
torturous
weight and
hunger
get stronger.
anyway. If this is life,
practice my
death's
serve.
better any day. Although the donkey had vowed previously,
other court?
it lapsed instead of because of asininity. Well, a donkey is sort of like an ass.
Maybe I'll stop at home and
Doesn't
maybe
have
in the afternoon.
asininity.
Maybe I'll take a break.
I hope I don't lapse
I have your number
into
now.
asininity, though.
I might go over there.
Since I have lapsed into asininity, I'm trying to get straightened out and I'm getting purified. I'm cleaning up my water. I've been drinking spring water and
Do I want to go
did
over there?
meditation this morning. And I only ate healthy food.
I may exercise twice today, but I may take a break and have breakfast or something.
Greed makes one blind and stupid. It will make the stupid think that's a good choice to take. Stupid. So greed makes one blind and
It's
stupid.
been a little cold today, but we didn't have any shirts
Poor
on.
donkey, soul
Mike
stuff
is
isn't easy.
I came there
is
and
it?
Mike had no shirt on. He's crazy.
Because they lack the everlasting spirit. Lacking this, it is wretched totally. Well, I suppose donkeys don't really have the same advantages we have, and the master keeps saying how we should be grateful. Be grateful that we're born as people and human beings, and then we got initiated.
Pretty flowers.
We took grace upon ourselves and to do regular practice of meditation. The donkey didn't even get born as a human, so. Oh, you're grateful for this book and this.
I just put it in the car.
For this podcast and
Get organized.
the wife's cooking and fun. The donkey soul's death isn't easy, is it? Because they lack the everlasting spirit. Lacking this, it is wretched totally. Boldness before death is stupidity. Strive till your soul's eternal when you die. Oh, goodness.
You can stop at the house.
Oh. Yeah, we should be striving till my soul is eternal when I die. Grazing on all the fields till nightfall to be sated and grow quickly stronger too. What will I eat tomorrow in despair? It worries at night. Wakes thin as a hare when morning comes. The field turns green in haste. Green shoots and sprouts as high as someone's waist. The cow wakes hungry, so it once again grazes till nightfall on all the plain. It thus grows bigger, fattening up like that, its body getting nourishment and fat.
Yeah.
At night, due to anxiety and sorrow, it grows thin and fears lack of food tomorrow. God. I worry about food all the time. Well, you worry about it and you keep asking your wife what's for dinner and what's for lunch and when's lunch. And you're a lot like that cow, yeah.
Get organized.
Well,
You
I
see
don't
the
have
new
that much
volleyball?
fear. And fear's lack of food tomorrow. What will
I have to park
eat
somewhere.
at mealtime
Hold
in
on.
the day?
Let's see.
For years the cow behaves in the same way, never thinking. For many years I'd eat on this same pasture and I'd never meet a day when I would not find daily bread. Why then this deep anxiety and dread? Yeah, why do I have such deep anxiety about? Huh?
Y un más gordo, mire, más
I'm
gordo.
más gordo?
Sí, está más.
Yeah, Ruby was saying more. The Davy was.
Ya no más.
Ruby said I was más flaca.
Sí, pero sí ve que las frutas sí lo ponen a uno muy así, las frutas.
Yeah, she's
No.
claiming. She's taking the credit. She's going to take the credit. I lost 8 pounds or so because I had my 1 week challenge of no fruit, and which I I sort of cut back, and I had purposely made it successful so my wife could take credit, and I didn't eat junk food and all that stuff. Really, you're successful? Well, I'm trying to become much less of a cow. But you sound like a cow.
You want to bring that to the house for me?
Yeah. A day when I would not find daily bread, so I don't have that anxiety I suppose God provides me with. Usually has provided me with my basic needs, but just barely. What? You mean just barely? He didn't give you any luxury amounts and didn't get you well, he hasn't provided me with any 5-star hotels or restaurants or nothing, but I don't have deep anxiety about that. So why then this deep anxiety? And when night falls, that cow grows thin again. My nurturer is gone. How will I cook them? This cow's the carnal soul. The field it's in is this world, where through worry it grows thin, thinking, what will I eat? I am perplexed. Where should I seek food during daytime next? Yeah, I'm always wondering if I should get something from the farmer's market or the grocery store or the deli. If I just don't think about it, lately I haven't been buying hardly anything. I went to the farmer's market and all I bought was a bag of greens. Literally salad greens. So, where shall I seek food during daytime next? I've eaten now 4 years, not gone without. Look at the past and future, do not doubt. Remember the fine food you've eaten here. Don't worry what's left or feel mortal fear. Well, that's kind of nice. I'm not going to worry then. So I have worried about some things, so. All right, so you're not going to worry? Oh. I'm not going to worry and act like a cow looking for something to eat all the time.
Eat all the time.
So I'm not going to worry because I'll have the provisions that I need, I guess. You'll have provisions on which to rely. It has no confidence that the great feeder might scatter from the unseen large grass near. Grace hasn't left it lacking daily bread. Till now, though, it's felt hunger pains instead. 100 other pains take hunger's place, from indigestion raising up their face.
Mommy? Hello?
Yeah, they have a thing in Zen, which is like a
constructive. He's got your agua.
What do you call it? Constructive, what's it? Constructive minimalism or something? You could probably just apply that to food and eat just enough to not get indigestion, I guess. Hunger, suffering's better, isn't it? It's light and gentle and gives benefit. Well, that's like saying that being hungry when you go to bed at night and skipping dinner is better, and it's like saying the suffering is good for you, like taking a cold shower or something. And it gives benefit, hunger, sufferings, purer than such pains, especially since it gives you virtuous gains. Oh, goodness. So just go hungry or something? So my new thing is I could just go hungry when my wife hasn't cooked and don't add any more food to the mix. So you're explaining the excellence of abstention and hunger, yeah. Hunger's medicine, Sultan, so embrace it. Hunger's medicine's Sultan, So embrace it. Don't look down at it when you have to face it. Every unsweet thing is made sweet by hunger. Well, yeah. Without it, all sweet things would be shunned, brother. One day a man was eating moldy bread. How can you eat this? Somebody then said. When hunger's doubled through abstention's power, barley bread tastes like halva then that hour. I eat just halva after I abstain. I fast a lot, of course, with much to gain. He fasts a lot, so if you want to be a poet and a mystic and be like Rumi, then you could say, I fast a lot, of course, with much to gain. But then you could eat halva after I abstained from... Well, I don't know. Not everyone can truly master hunger. Not everyone can master this stuff, so you have to have the grace of the master to get any control over anything practically, so not everyone can truly master hunger because this lower realm is full of fodder. Hunger's bestowed on God's elite, as then it makes them powerful lions among men. Yeah, you could become a powerful lion, I guess, if you don't eat. How could such hunger reach each beggar near? They give him fodder since there's so much here. Eat up, for you are worthless, he is told. Your bread fall, not the waterfall is bold. A sheikh with his disciple rushed ahead towards the town where there was little bread. Then fear of hunger gave the latter stress. Fear of hunger, constantly due to his own heedlessness. Well, nowadays, it's like, we don't really have that much fear of hunger. I suppose they could have had it back then, and we have a good supply chain, and most towns have a store, and most people have enough nowadays food to eat. Then fear of hunger gave the latter stress, constantly due to his own needlessness. The sheikh could read his mind and was aware. How long will you stay miserable in there? You are consumed with sorrow, overbred, losing all trust and patience from your head. You are not one of the marvelous elite to not have nuts and raisins. You'll soon eat hunger for their great souls' sustenance. How could that be for you, you giddy dunce? Relax, you aren't one of them that you should stay without bread in your kitchen too. Bowl upon bowl, loaf upon loaf are here for regular men needing them. Yeah, if you're regular, I mean, you could just eat bread. I mean, it's not really the place, and you're not part of the elite. You should just eat food all the time. That's clear. When such a one dies, bread steps up to shout. He killed himself through fear of going without. Yeah, most people kill themselves through fear of going without. After you have gone, bread stays, arise and take it. You who would kill yourself with grief, mistake it. Trust God and stop your limbs from shaking too. Your daily bread is more in love with you than you with it. So, my bread's more, in a way, the bakeries and things and the bread itself is more in love with me than I am with it. Oh, okay. For this it's not come near. Your total lack of patience interfere. If you had patience, it would not now hover, but throw itself at you just like a lover. Why shake with fever, fearing hunger, when one can trust God? Then live as sated men. Huh. Huh. Huh.
Más que diga Sammy.
In this world, a green island was once known, which a sweet-mouthed cow lived all alone. Huh. Where's this cow living alone? Grazing on all the fields till midnight, to be sated and grow quickly, stronger too. What will I eat tomorrow? In despair it worries at night, wakes thin as a hare. Then morning comes, the field turns green in haste. Green shoots and sprouts as high as someone's waist. A cow wakes hungry, so at once again grazes till midnight, nightfall on all the plain. It thus grows fatter and fattening up like that, its body getting nourishment and fat. At night, due to anxiety and sorrow, grows thin and fears lack of food tomorrow. What will I eat at mealtime in the day? For years the cow behaves in the same way. Never thinking for many years I'd eat on this same pasture, and I'd never meet a day when I would not find daily bread. Why then this deep anxiety and dread? And when night falls, that cow grows thin again. Yeah, I suppose I could get thinner in the night somehow if I don't eat till late, and my nurture's gone. How will I cope then? Huh. This cow's the carnal soul. This podcast is the carnal soul. The field of sin is this world where through worry it grows thin. Thinking, what will I eat? I am perplexed. Where should I seek food during the daytime next? Yeah, where am I going to play tennis next if it rains? And what am I going to do tomorrow? And where are we going to find a UPS store? And, I'm perplexed. You've eaten now for years, not gone without. Look at the past and future, do not doubt. Remember the fine food you've eaten here. Yeah, I can think over all the places I've eaten in New York City and all the fine food, and think of all the food that I've eaten. Don't worry what's left or feel mortal fear. So I'm going to think of all the stuff I've been eating and just keep eating, I guess.